Hey everyone, lead trainer with StocksToTrade Tim Bohen. Today we're going to be going through the info box, which much like anything, man, when you're talking trading, you need the latest info, you need the latest actionable information, and you need it quickly. So when I go to the info box, number one, I'm going to go to the zoomed version, but you'll see when I'm in what's called total view, that's the view of all the most important information, my info box is in the lower right. Now, that's where I use it most of the time. I am going to zoom in a little bit so that you guys can see it a little better and walk you through everything that's included. So working through left to right off the bat, you have live news, okay? So this is all of the most recent news articles related to that particular stock. So you can see, again, this is a stock that's been very much in play today, MYTE, looking like it wants to run in after hours and gap and go tomorrow. But if you go back to earlier, you can see that they released news that they're inquiring Net-a-Porter. They're kind of a competitor, so they're kind of doing a roll-up. You can also see recent SEC filings. Those are marked in brown. So SEC filings, if you're unfamiliar, those are the financial reporting that these companies have to do with the SEC, whether they be quarterly or corporate changes. Very important information. I'll save an SEC filings video for another time, getting into like what to look for, etc. But the nice thing is you've got them right here. You can see they had an amendment earlier today. All I got to do is if I want to read that amendment, double click it. I've got the full SEC filing. One thing I do with a lot of SEC filings, you search for keywords, etc. But you can see with one click, I've got this filing. I can see what they're up to, and all of this, you know, with the thing with the SEC filings, this is all factual, okay? Companies will spin a yarn in their press releases, maybe pump themselves a little bit. They can't do that with the SEC, well, unless they want to go to jail, okay? So the nice way to get the real info is always dig into the SEC filings. All of these are real-time news, real-time SEC filings. I know I say this a lot, but if you're using delayed data, you're going to be in trouble, okay? The other thing we can do is filter by date. Maybe you want to go back a little further. Maybe you only care about today. I mean, I can filter simply by today. When we're talking day trading, that's kind of what we're doing, what's out today. I could go back to previous periods, and I can even search on the calendar. Like I could go back and be like, what did they announce on June 5th or something? And I can search by date ranges. So maybe you're looking for their last quarterly filing, or maybe a press release that they posted in the past. I can do date range searches, go back in time in essence, to see if they're rehashing a press release, or maybe they said something that didn't play out. So I've got all that real-time access to the news and SEC filings. Now, speaking of that, what's nice about the next tab, and it might seem a little redundant, but I don't think it is just the SEC filings tab. And it's nice because the press releases, the news, the story they tell can always be, listen, they're trying to pump themselves up. And even if they're not trying to pump the stock, you know how it works with marketing. They want to convince you that they're a great company and you should buy their stock. The SEC filing, as I mentioned, the straight dope. They can't, unless they want to get in trouble, they got to tell it how it is. So now I can, if I'm looking for a specific earnings announcement, an 8K, maybe a dilution filing, I can zero in and only see the SEC filings. Next is very handy is the events. And you can configure these. Like I look for stocks that are breaking the day high, breaking the day low, reclaiming VWAP, crossing resistance levels. So if you're kind of looking at the chart, you can also have the events, which tells you, real time. Like here you can see keeps hitting the 52-week high, hit the 10-day high. A lot of bullish indicators on MYTE. 52-week high, 26 high, 10-day high. You can see down here it crossed the resistance at 77.25. So you can go back through the day as well as real time to see what key levels based on technicals as well as technical indicators this stock is hitting. Next is we have the chat. And what's neat about the chat, I know I've talked about breaking news a lot or my chat room. What's really neat about this tab is it isn't the full feed, okay, which might sound weird, but hear me out. Especially if you're in a stock Like this is when I use this the most is when I'm in a stock and I've already made my decision. I bought the stock and I'm in it. And especially with these volatile stocks, like listen, if you're following 1 or 2 positions at a time, you know it can get really busy and you miss things. So instead of watching the full chat room, I can actually drill in just for breaking news or my chat room or other chat rooms that only are mentioning that ticker. Now it might seem simple, but it's big. Like the thing with breaking news is it's awesome, but there's a lot of information. And that information may or may not apply to your particular stock. So I love this feature, especially when you're in something. Because if you're in something, you don't really care what's happening with Apple. You don't care what NVIDIA is doing. You might not care what is going on in the Middle East. Maybe you're in a stock that has nothing to do with the Middle East, so you don't care about that. You only see the information related to your ticker. Next is the profile. This is simple, but I use it all the time. I can look at where they're based. I can get to their webpage. Quite frequently, especially with swing trades, we do go to their webpage. We kind of want to see what business they're in, what their products are, especially when we're looking for longer term holds. I can quickly go to the webpage. I can see what sector they're in, the sub-industries, and I can also see how big they are, like how many employees they have. Are they a real company? You can see with MYT, 1,000 employees. That doesn't guarantee they'll be successful, but many of you know a lot of these low price stocks, they'll have like 1 employee or 2 employees. So it's a good way to just be like, oh, okay, this is a stock maybe I want to hold. Maybe this is a stock I only want to day trade. And it's just nice to be able to quickly get to the webpage, not have to Google it. You can actually, I had them build this in. There's even a Google Maps. Like if I click the address, it takes me to the Google Maps, especially when we're looking at penny stocks. Some of these things are located in houses. Some of them are in, like UPS stores and stuff like that. So we like to actually see that Google Street View, and it's 1 click. Next is the key statistics. A lot of data here. I could probably do a whole video on this, but you've got all of the pertinent financial data. Market cap, price to sales, debt, revenue, cash flow, EBITDA, diluted earnings per share, 52-week high, 52-week low, shares outstanding, float, dividend dates, okay? Again, I'll probably end up doing a full video breaking down all these data points, but you can quickly get a snapshot on the viability of the company. Like, are they profitable? Are they bleeding cash and probably gonna do a dilution? You can see that with 1 quick snapshot. Next is we have the order box. Like you can actually integrate your broker into StocksToTrade and execute orders from the platform. Or the nice thing that's also kind of handy, if you're kind of new to these stocks, you can actually integrate a paper trading account here as well and trade real-time data. So one thing with paper trading, make sure you're trading with real-time data. Everything in StocksToTrade is real-time. So whether it's your real brokerage account or multiple brokerage accounts, like maybe you got a day trade and a swing trade account, you can choose those accounts, trade them both, or you can test strategies with paper trading. Next is the related. I use this a lot, again, when we're thinking of like swing trades. So when we're looking for hot sectors, this is a great way to find that. So what you can do is you can quickly see other companies that are in the same industry. So like literally today, things have continued to ratchet up in the Middle East. Bunch of these oil and gas stocks have been going crazy. So the nice thing, if you miss that first big move on one of the leaders in oil and gas, you can go to that stock, go to the related tab, and quickly see other companies that are in the same industry, their price, their change, their volume, their market cap, as well as their float. So a lot of times what I love to do with day trading, when we have a big name stock running, like say in NVIDIA, okay, and it's happened a lot, heavily in AI, what I like to do, go to the related tab on NVIDIA, and then I can filter for low float, small cap stocks that are also in the AI sector, because many of you know, when you got that big name moving, a lot of the little names follow, and they typically lag. So when NVIDIA is going wild, maybe you missed the big move, they announce earnings or a new product, you can catch the sympathy plays, as we call them, by using the related tab. Next is the rating. The rating is based on tip ranks. This is a consensus of analysts, hedge funds, and a bunch of great data. I'm going to do another video on tip ranks. It'll probably be right after this one. So if you want more information on this analyst data and hedge fund data, check out the next video. So then the other nice thing is I can even make notes. We have a full rich text editor here where I can annotate my notes per ticker. It's a great way with a lot of these stocks run multiple times. So you can put notes in here denoting why it moved, how much it moved, reasons behind the move, the volume, etc., and it's stored in your platform. So let's say MYTE starts running again in a couple months. You can simply go to the ticker in your platform, go to the notes, and you'll be able to see your notes, and maybe you put links in there. I mean, it's a full rich text editor. You can do bulleted lists, all kinds of stuff. And now you might remember the ticker, but you might be like, why did it move last time? I mean, there's a lot of stocks out there. Maybe it's months later. You might kind of remember, but kind of not. You can have your own notes with links, with everything to kind of catch you back up to speed. That's the info box, guys. Totally great way to get access to all of the information that really matters. The news, the SEC filings, price action, real-time chat updates, profile on the company, all of the financial data, entry, order entry, exits, entries, everything, sympathy plays, SEC filings, hedge funds, everything in there, as well as your notes. It's a great tool. If you want access to it, check out StocksToTrade and you can start using it today.